Have you ever wondered why so many people are living with HIV in South Africa? The answer to this is not simply that people are making worse off decisions, but it's also because of a result of a combination of structural, social, and historical factors. So firstly, South Africa had a high HIV burden in the early years of the epidemic. So when the epidemic started, a lot of people got infected. And obviously, when more people were infected, more people were transmitting the infection within the population, which added to the rise in prevalence of HIV in the country. Another reason is gender dynamics, which we often don't talk about or don't really consider. But women, especially younger women who are also disproportionately affected by HIV, they tend to find themselves dating older people or older men, usually for economic dependence, right? And as a result of this creates a power imbalance. You have a power imbalance, so then now these younger women, they're not able to negotiate safer sex in these kinds of relationships, which then again leads to this onward transmission of the virus. Another thing is inequality. Inequality actually still, it plays a big role, right? In that we know that South Africa is still one of the most unequal societies in the world. And so factors like poverty, limited access to health care, limited access to education or good quality education, it makes one vulnerable to HIV. Another factor is stigma and misinformation. And these ones are really, they make me angry because we've known about HIV for a very long time. It's been around for a very long time. But then there's still stigma that exists. There's still misinformation that exists. And both of these, they delay people getting tested. They cause a delay in people getting treatment as well, right? And obviously, again, it contributes to people now living without knowing their status. And again, there's that onward transmission that takes place. And then therefore, the numbers of people living with HIV, they keep going up and up and up. Another important thing is our public health surveillance system. Like South Africa, actually, compared to a lot of African countries, it has a really good public health surveillance system. So there isn't a lot of barrier when it comes to testing. There isn't a lot of barrier when it comes to actually getting treated. There isn't a lot of barrier as well for us to track people that are infected and to actually know how many people in the entire population are infected. And so we are able to report these numbers easily, and the WHO, your CDC, they have access to all of this information easily because we do have a decent public health surveillance system in place. And we also saw this during COVID, where South Africa consistently reported high COVID numbers compared to other African countries, for instance. And it was because we actually have the means, the infrastructure, the personnel to test people and to actually have those numbers recorded somewhere accurately. So that is something you also need to take into account when you are looking at the stats and comparing the stats between different countries, that some countries have better resources to actually know what's going on with their population compared to other countries. And I say this not to say that these are all the factors that are the reason as to why South Africa has a high prevalence of HIV, but these are some of the important factors that are contributing to the high numbers of HIV in South Africa. And I also say this not to shift the blame from individuals, because there are people that know better, but they still engage in risky behavior, right? We know this. But the whole purpose of my message is also that you need to understand context when you are dealing with diseases and the systems that will shape risk and that will shape access to care and treatment when you're thinking about those things. So if you want to hear more about healthcare and health information simplified, head on to my channel, Health with Thandi. I speak about health information, but more from a perspective of public health than I do from a clinical perspective, because I do think that population health is something that shapes our access to healthcare, or even us getting better as people. I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.